Gaming isn't just a pastime, it's a cultural juggernaut. With revenue surpassing those of the film and music industries combined, the influence of video games is undeniable. But as the industry grows, so does the conversation about who gets to see themselves reflected in these virtual worlds. Because at the end of the day, gaming is more than just entertainment. It's a powerful platform for connection, self-expression, and a tool for understanding. But why is representation important? Should studios even care? And isn't everyone just boycotting woke games? Well, let's get into it. But before we do, I'm happy to have respectful and earnest discussions in the comments about the state of representation in gaming, or to answer more questions about why we celebrate Pride Month as a whole. But please check your prejudice at the door, or have the energy that you bring into the comments matched. According to a recent study, Nielsen found that 17%, nearly 1 in 5 gamers, identify as LGBTQIA+. And these gamers, along with many non-queer gamers, are calling for more representation. A striking 68% of queer gamers wish that there were more prominent queer storylines in games. Among non-queer gamers, that reaches 21%, with 29% of gamers wanting more queer storylines overall, with the desire being especially strong among younger gamers and those who spend the most on games. In short, there are a lot more LGBTQIA+ gamers than you might think, and many gamers, queer or not, want more representation than is currently available. Because despite the demand, analysis of games available on PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, and Steam reveals that those with LGBTQIA+ characters and storylines only make up less than 2% of all games. But isn't there a rhetoric that the woke mob is taking over? Maybe in circles of a loud minority, but in reality, it's more of a minority salience bias, where a minority group's presence in a traditionally exclusive space feels disproportionately large. In reality, resistance to queer content in games is decreasing, with each generation of gamers being more diverse and open to representation. The most resistance currently is with playable transgender characters. Among LGBTQIA+ gamers, 46% are more likely to buy a game with the option to be transgender, with 48% saying it would make a difference if they purchase the game or not. And overall, 30% of non-queer gamers are less likely to buy a game with a transgender main character, dropping to 24% when that trans character is secondary or optional. And while this might sound like a lot, just remember the inverse of this is that a majority of non-LGBTQIA+ gamers are still not dissuaded from playing games with transgender characters. Games offer us the chance to explore new worlds, experience diverse narratives and cultures, simulate daily life, and recreate historical events. And since queer people exist in our world, they should be included in these virtual worlds too. Seeing ourselves in the characters we play is crucial, but so is experiencing lives we otherwise couldn't. For the most part, optional or secondary representation has been one of the primary ways the game industry has included marginalized characters, such as people of color, femme, or LGBTQIA+ characters. By allowing players to decide if they want their character to romance same-sex NPCs, or having options such as gender or skin color for character customization. These have been the standards for more robust and impactful marginalized representation for decades. And while that representation has increased, it's important to remember that numbers not measured cannot be moved. We didn't get changes like more female characters existing by accepting the very few that did originally. So while we may see more queer characters, more people of color, and more women in games to come, keep in mind that the games industry is playing catch-up and not being taken over. Media provides a crucial way for people to see themselves reflected, especially when they lack openly similar individuals in their lives, or those individuals are viewed negatively. It's a way of saying, people like you exist, you are valid, and you are not alone in your experiences. Having LGBTQIA+ characters and themes in gaming fosters a sense of community amongst queer gamers. It offers opportunities for connection, support, and a celebration of shared identities and experiences. And for LGBTQIA+ gamers, gaming can be more than just escape, it can be a vital outlet for self-expression. And even for those outside of the queer community, gaming serves as a powerful tool to gain experiences and perspectives that they might not encounter otherwise. And this is why it's so important to not only feature diverse characters, but to have playable ones with rich and meaningful stories. In this video, I want to highlight a few indie games because they often tackle queer issues boldly and authentically. They go beyond merely just inserting LGBTQIA+ characters for the sake of representation, instead offering deep, thoughtful narratives that resonate with players, without making their identities the only interesting thing about them. And with that, let's get into the games that I've loved playing. Starting with one you've likely already played or heard of, Unpacking is a masterclass on telling a stunning narrative without ever using a single word. Developed by Witchbeam, this unique and critically acclaimed title that begins as an unassuming cozy puzzle game quickly develops into a narrative exploration of a character's life through the art of unpacking their belongings from childhood bedrooms to shared apartments. As the protagonist's life progresses, you discover aspects of her personal relationships and growing identity through the items you unpack. In one of the later stages, it's revealed through her belongings that she is in a relationship with another woman. This relationship is depicted naturally, without fanfare, and integrated seamlessly into the narrative gameplay. The inclusion of this specific sapphic element is an authentic and respectful portrayal, and it provides visibility and representation in a way that resonates with many players in the most heartfelt way. If be gay, do crime is your vibe, then Night in the Woods is right up your alley. Developed by Infinite Fall, this narrative-driven adventure game follows May Borowski, a college dropout who heads back to her hometown Possum Springs, a place that's seen better days. As May reconnects with her old friends and tackles the ups and downs of young adulthood, she stumbles upon some weird happenings and hidden secrets in the town. It's got a punk feel, a tongue-in-cheek attitude, and a surprisingly addictive mini-game. What makes this game special is how it seamlessly weaves queer characters into the story. Representation is natural and not forced, giving us relatable queer characters without making their sexuality the only interesting thing about them. May, the main character, is pansexual. Her sexuality is just a part of who she is, adding to the depth of her character. And two of May's closest friends, Greg and Angus, are in a long-term same-sex relationship. And this relationship is shown with the real nuance and authenticity, capturing both their love for each other and the challenges that they face. The Cosmic Wheel Sisterhood is a narrative-driven game developed by Deconstruct Team. You'll hear their names a few times in this list, as they continually knock out games that show how to deliver great representation without centering it, and still tackle queer-specific issues. The game centers around Fortuna, a witch exiled from her coven for eternity. Seeking to regain her freedom, she forges a pact with a forbidden entity and embarks on a journey that involves creating a new tarot deck, interacting with other witches, and exploring themes of fate, identity, and rebellion. The story unfolds through rich dialogue and complex player choices, delving into deep themes and character development. This game features a large cast of witches with diverse gender identities and sexual The game features a large cast of witches with diverse gender identities and sexual orientations. Their identities are woven naturally into the story, providing a broad spectrum of representation. Each new character you meet feels fully fleshed out and interesting, almost like they could exist in the world without you. Romancing some of these characters is possible, and the relationships in the game, whether romantic or platonic, are depicted with depth and authenticity, reflecting the complexities and nuances of real-life connections, especially in same-sex situations. Themes of identity, found family, and self-discovery are central to the narrative, resonating with many LGBTQIA+ lived experiences. A Normal Lost Phone is an interactive puzzle and narrative game developed by Accidental Queens. The game begins with you discovering a lost phone and exploring its contents to uncover the story of its owner, Sam. As you navigate through text messages, emails, and other apps, solving puzzles to unlock secrets, you begin to piece together the events leading up to Sam's disappearance. As players delve deeper into her phone, they realize that Sam is a transgender woman. The game explores Sam's journey of self-discovery, her struggles with acceptance from her family and peers, and her experiences with love and identity. The game sensitively addresses issues related to gender identity coming out and the challenges faced by transgender individuals specifically. It provides a window into Sam's thoughts and feelings, fostering empathy and understanding, as well as exploring many other queer issues through the available forums and other characters. A Normal Lost Phone has a respectful and heartful representation of LGBTQIA+ themes, contributing to greater awareness and visibility in gaming. The CUARTO is another underrated gem developed by Deconstruct Team. Part deck builder, part narrative, the game revolves around the lives of two struggling stand-up comedians. trying to make a name for themselves in the comedy scene. Players follow their journey, manage their routines, and explore their personal and professional relationships. The two protagonists are in a relationship with each other, which is portrayed with depth and authenticity, highlighting both their struggles and their mutual support. The game's portrayal of a queer relationship is part of the narrative, but it also offers a lesson that many other creatives would resonate with. It's an incredibly touching story about the personal and professional failures of being a creative. Much like life, it often feels like there is no way to play the game to win, with upgrades often costing more than you could redeem yourself on stage for. But it's in that failure that comfort is found. I'm not sure if this was intentional game design or not, but it's a good lesson on dealing with the hand you're dealt. Pun intended. Eternal Home Floristry is another fantastic game from Deconstruct Team. It's a narrative-driven puzzle game that mixes elements of visual novels with point-and-click adventures. In this game, you play as Gordon, a hitman who takes refuge in a flower shop. As he recovers, he learns the art of flower arranging, using it as a way to communicate and find meaning. Along the way, he forms a deep connection with the shop's owner. The game dives deep into themes of redemption, healing, and personal growth, all brought to life through rich dialogue and character interactions. One of the standout aspects of Eternal Home Floristry is its queer representation. Gordon, the main character, is a gay man, and his sexuality is a core part of who he is. It shapes his relationships and the interactions he has throughout the game. The story thoughtfully explores Gordon's identity, his past traumas, and his journey towards self-acceptance and healing. With its movie storytelling, Eternal Home Floristry is not just a game that entertains, but it also resonates on a deeper level. Representation in gaming is not just about ticking boxes. It's about creating spaces where everyone can see themselves, feel valid, and connect on a deeper level. It's about exploring new perspectives and understanding lives different from our own. Games have the power to do that and more. Thank you for watching this video, and please feel free to drop more of your favorite queer game recommendations in the comments, and have a happy and safe Pride 2024.